Hey Nick, let's see if we can troubleshoot your model. So good job finding or looking at the command line error messages. What I'm seeing here is we want to look at the severes, the fatals. Um, the first thing it's saying is that the zone surface is not matched correctly. I see that again here, non-matched. Um, that's telling me to look at the geometry. And if I come glance at this, I can see like a lot of overlaps and gaps and stuff. And that's your problem. Or at least, there may be other problems, but that's the first one. And if we go to wireframe, if we're in thermal analysis, um, this is what's on in the thermal model. And we can see there's problems already because a healthy zone is all white. Um, and if there's windows on a wall, there needs to be or on a surface, there needs to be a white surface with a blue window on it. So we can see issues here. If I select one of these zones, um, and we can see how it's overlapping. That's not going to work. They have to be, so these are just volumes of air touching each other. And there may be physical things separating them, or it could just be that we're going to have a different HVAC setup for the two different volumes of air, so they're going to really just be touching one another without a wall between them. That's a possibility. So the point is then these are just boxes that are separating one volume of air from another. So they're only surfaces and they have to all be coplanar. There can't be overlaps like this. In the thermal model, of course, architectural model, you do whatever you want. So right, that's the difference between those. And if we look then inside of this, we can see there's problems here and if you we can talk about what this nomenclature means. I mean, it's obvious when you're looking at it, but I can show you where it is in the templates and what it means in terms of the actual model. But if I start clicking down through these, so the first thing I see that I have two exterior floors, which is weird, and I can see why now. I've got this little blip here of an exterior floor, and then the full thing is an exterior. The full floor is a floor, so that's weird. I have a roof, so that's good, but then. Bunch of wacky stuff like okay, that partition works, but then this facade, because a partition is separate, it's an adiabatic surface. Essentially, it's two zones. Maybe not adiabatic. It's two internal zones touching one another, so there's no exterior air involved. Um, but then we come over here and we see this is called a facade. That's supposed to be outside. There's supposed to be air touching that surface, and so this is because of some weird overlapping thing you've got here. Um, so I can see that there's just issues with the geometry. And if I come in here and let me just hide this. There's just a lot of stuff that's weird. Like you can see how so these aren't the same height. These two zones or these two surfaces. So let me just try to and which is the right one? Maybe it's this. So let me try to bring this up to here. See if that fixes it. And that went too far over there. Oh, that's because well, let's try to pull it down to here. So that's still, so what I'm seeing is I think these aren't even, let me try to pull this one over. I don't think that these were drawn even perpendicular. So you see I have a gap up here at the top, but not one at the bottom. So I don't know how you drew these, but they're just off. Um, so what you need to do is just the way I do it is let's say I want to what I would do first in this model is I would come and pick this floor plate. I don't know if you can do these all at once. You could just draw it, or if you have, like, let's say, do I have a roof here? Let me look quickly. Roof. That's ceiling might work. If I take my ceiling but it includes a porch, right? We could cut it off. My point being, or or I could just start with a let me not do that. Um, I would start making zones from. Let's just do this just to make it simple. If I now take this surface and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to throw it on a new layer. It's a little bit convoluted here, but and then I'm saying if I just then turn off your roof, pull this up to here, I have a volume. I can make that into a zone right now, and that's going to work. So if I come over here, I'm just going to delete all these other zones. I'm just giving you an example. Yeah, let me get so I'll get rid of all this stuff now. This is because of the stuff I just deleted. Okay, so now I have a zone that makes sense. I've got an external floor and facades, and I can run a simulation just with this, so we can make sure it's working. Simulation's running, and here's my results, right? And then I come in and I start adding windows to this. But what I'm trying to say is that you could just start with just the outline of your building. Come in here and draw the outline, um, and and this might have been how you screwed up, because sometimes you can, if these aren't square to begin with, then that curve I just made is not going to be square. So just as you're building your model, keep coming back to the wireframe and just making sure that when you make a zone, or you can make zones one at a time, that it's working, so that you don't, if I then add something here that's not going to be coplanar, um, I would know it immediately if I was looking at the zones. And then I just need to make sure that I'm adding my windows coplanar to the surfaces here. So just as an example, oops, I won't do that. Polysurface. I can make that a window now. And then when I go to the wireframe, it's going to be correct there. All right. So point is, you just need to go rebuild this geometry. There's some mistakes. Once you do that, and let's just run this again to show you that it's working. Then it will run. Let me know if that's not clear, or if there's something else that's going on that I need to help you with.